Yo, what's good with y'all, man? How y'all doing, bro? Today, I want to talk about something pretty good. I want to talk about something that I was reading this morning. I was in my word and I was reading something about this. But today, I want to talk about why you should listen to God. And I believe that we all know we should listen to God, but I want to talk about the importance of why listening to God is beneficial, it's important, and it's something that is not a option, it's actually a command. So first thing I want to say is not listening to God is foolish, right? Like not listening to the person that created you, that formed you, that know everything about you is foolish. It talks about it in Proverbs 1:7, where it talks about the fear of the Lord, right? And it even goes on to say people who don't even fear God despise wisdom and discipline. So when you don't listen to God, you're obviously not taking in wisdom. And sometimes listening to God requires discipline. Sometimes God wants to discipline us when we're listening to him. So to not listen to God already makes you a fool. Like imagine not listening to somebody who created you. Imagine not listening to somebody who knows everything about you. If somebody knows everything about me and they know me better than I know myself and they created me and they formed me, why wouldn't I listen to them? So not listening to who your creator is one of the most foolish, and I almost want to say dumbest, but it's one of the most like dumbest things you could probably do. I'm gonna just put it like that. The second thing I want to say is that the only way you're going to be able to listen to God is if you know his voice. And the only way we know his voice, right, is you have to be a sheep, right? Because it also talks about how the sheep know my voice. And so you have to literally be a sheep to understand what God is saying. It means that one, you have to follow under who God is, because every sheep has a shepherd. And so when you know that God is your shepherd, you have to automatically follow under him, right? So in order for us to follow God, we have to reverence him as our shepherd, as our leader, as our God, as our Messiah. Like that's who we have to reverence him as. And so after we reverence him as that, then we're able to follow under him. Because in order to follow a shepherd, you know, the sheep has to know who they're following. And we can't listen to God's voice if we don't know who we're following. If you don't know the God that you're following, if you don't know the creator that you're following, you're not going to be able to know who God is. And you're not going to be able to follow his voice. Because in order to follow his voice, you got to understand who you're following. You feel me? Like, is it starting to click? Like, that's the only way you're going to be able to follow him. I know for a long time, man, I always, and I'm going to try to say this word correctly as possible, but I always like differentiate. I don't know how you say that word, but if I'm wrong, comment that I'm wrong. But I always would differentiate, whatever, how you say it, about which voice is my voice, Satan's voice, God's voice. And the Lord had to show me, he was like, are you really a sheep? Am I really your shepherd? Because if you was, you will understand how I speak, how I talk. You feel me? So again, I just want to make that important, that we really have to follow under God, and we have to reverence him as our shepherd and as our leader. Once you know his voice, then when you listen to him, you're placing yourself on a solid foundation, y'all. Like you're putting yourself on a solid ground that can be built on. Like look at this for example. Literally listening to God is literally placing yourself on a solid foundation, right? And so if we're not listening to him, we are literally like trying to place a foundation on water. You feel me? Like you can't build something on top of water, because what's going to happen? It's going to collapse. Like it's not going to be stable. Like you just can't build something that's not stable. And what's even more greater about that is that when we're listening to our own thoughts and when we're placing ourselves on our own foundation, we have to remember that our hearts are deceitful, which means our hearts are not true, and our hearts is not always telling a lie. So when we're placing how we feel, our flesh, based off of our hearts, if we're going based off our hearts and our emotions, we're not placing ourselves on a solid foundation, because guess what? We don't know whether or not it's true. We don't know whether or not it's a lie, because our heart will deceive us. Our heart will make us think things that's not what it is. You feel me? So when we're listening to God and when we're placing ourselves on his foundation, we can never go wrong. There is no coin flip 50-50 chance with God. It's literally, this is what it is. This is a solid truth. This is wisdom. This is knowledge. This is understanding. And you just can't go wrong. Like, you just can't go wrong with placing yourself on what God wants, on what God is saying. So I want us to make sure that we're always listening to God, and that we understand that when we listen to him, we're gaining wisdom. We're gaining something when we're listening to our Creator. We're gaining knowledge. We're gaining understanding, right? So we have to constantly remind ourselves, like, yo, I can't listen to my own voice. I can't listen to the things that I want to do, because I understand that my Creator knows and he has better for me. But that's it, y'all. That's all I want to talk about today. I don't want to keep y'all for long, but I appreciate y'all for watching this video. Like I said in my previous video, I'm gonna try to be more consistent. I'm gonna try to be more productive on this channel. So I'm gonna catch y'all on the next video. Make sure you follow me. Listen, y'all, I'm so tired of y'all not following me on Instagram, bro. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at I'm Tyler Talley, bro. And listen, man, I'm gonna catch y'all on the next video. I appreciate y'all, man. So yeah.